we're touching on transfers now because there's a little bit of breaking news. Alex Crook, as we said, has joined us in the studio. So, Alex,
must be important if he's joined us in the studio.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Come off his holiday, out of the water aerobics,
parachuted him.
I heard my aerobics went down a storm.
Wow.
On YouTube.
It went viral.
It was
for all the wrong reasons.
It was the Charlie's bit my finger of its generation.
Do you know how that happened? Genuinely, right? I went down for breakfast one morning with my gym kit and thought, right, I'm going to have a little workout because I've been trying to work out in this country. Oh, we don't have a gym, sir.
Oh, no.
So I thought, well, if you can't go to the gym, I may as well join in with the aerobics every day.
Nice.
Just the same.
Nice.
Just the same.
There was you and about 20 middle-aged women, wasn't there?
Pretty much.
Dancing to Pink Pony Club. It was lovely.
Anyway, bated breath. Everybody wants to know if it's their transfer. So who are we talking about?
Well, this is the window that just keeps on giving, isn't it? Because there seems to be a sensational story every day. This is one, actually, that I first wrote about in my notebook back in March, that Newcastle were braced for serious interest this summer from Liverpool for Alexander Isak, regardless of whether Mo Salah stays. We didn't know at that stage that he was definitely going to sign his new contract. Obviously, he has done. It's taken a while to come to fruition. There's been no formal bid. It's important to stress that from Liverpool to Newcastle. But conversations have taken place, and basically, Liverpool have indicated to Newcastle that if they do decide the time is right to sell Alexander Isak, not only are they prepared to make a bid, they're prepared to pay a British record fee in excess of £120 million. Of course, they've already broken the British transfer record once this summer for Florian Wirtz. At the moment, the message from Newcastle is that Isak is not for sale. They want him to sign a new contract. But I wonder if this could have knock-on effects now when it comes to Newcastle's own pursuit of Ugo Ekitike, a player who is on Chelsea's radar if Nicholas Jackson was to be sold. And more importantly, I think a player who's on Liverpool's radar as well as they look to bolster their forward options. So as much as Alexander Isak's staying, and we do expect him to stay at this stage, could be good news for Newcastle fans. The fact Liverpool are now expected to make a move for Ekitike, perhaps not quite such good news.
Okay, so that is quite interesting, isn't it? So where does that leave Newcastle? There is a relationship, isn't there, between the hierarchy at Liverpool and Eddie Howe? They know each other from the past, don't they?
They do indeed. Michael Edwards, who's the sort of overlord now for FSG, the Liverpool owners, he actually started out as an analyst at Portsmouth when Richard Hughes and Eddie Howe were both players there. They became very close, the three of them. Richard Hughes has now joined Edwards as Liverpool's sporting director. And of course, Eddie Howe was Bournemouth manager when Richard Hughes was sporting director there. So I'd imagine that the conversations have been toing and throwing between the three of them. So as I say, no formal bid at this stage. It would have all been handled very respectively. I've seen a suggestion in some quarters that this is an attempt to unsettle Alexander Isak. I think given the relationship between those three, I would say that's unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's very interesting.
Yeah, very
interesting for Newcastle and Liverpool fans. If you want to give us a call,
would that be brinkmanship at all? What I mean by that is, would they say we want to buy this player just so they can get so they can get Ekitike basically? Well, I think would it work like that?
I think Isak would always be their top target, and that was the way I reported it in March. So I don't think they would have wanted to put a bid in for Ekitike, and they've not done that yet.
No.
Had Isak been available. So I think really it's just covering all bases and just double checking. Look, are you sure you don't want to sell us Alexander Isak?
Isak doesn't have a buyout clause.
No, he doesn't.
One we don't know about.
No, well, that has happened this summer, hasn't it? And he is still under contract. You know, it's not that pressing that they have to get him to sign a contract before the window ends. But if he doesn't sign a new contract, then I think we get into January, we get into next summer, then that interest is going to seriously ramp up.
It must drive Newcastle fans mad that they're sitting there.
Well, they got Champions League football.
Owned by, a country, basically, and all the money in the world, and yet there they are, might lose their main man. Must drive them.
I mean, look, there is, insane. With respect to Newcastle, there is. We all know how the food chain works, don't we? But there's an awful lot of boxes ticked from Isak's point of view. He has got Champions League football. He's in a settled side. He's much loved. I'm sure. There's a lot of reasons to stay at Newcastle, isn't there?
Yeah, I think wages wise, Liverpool would probably offer a lot more. I think one thing Eddie Howe's been keen to try and avoid since he's been in there, and we know there's Saudi cash to play with. He's not wanted to smash the wage structure. He's not wanted to deharmonise the dressing rooms. That could be an issue, but it's been a tough summer for Newcastle so far, and I've got a lot of sympathy for Eddie Howe because they tried for Dean Howson, but you're not going to join Newcastle over Real Madrid.
No,
They tried for Brian Mbumo, but he made it pretty clear that he wanted to go and join Manchester United. Obviously, they've managed to get Anthony Elanga over the line. If they do miss out on Ekitike, and it doesn't sound like they're very confident that they are going to be his choice if Liverpool and Chelsea are at the table, then again, do you go to Newcastle over the champions? You don't.
Yeah, no, it's an awkward situation. All right, Alex, thanks very much.
No worries, guys.
We'll
Thank
keep
you.
an eye on that, but yeah, interesting times, and Liverpool stepping up their interest.
I mean, it's been
Alexander
a
Isak.
chat all summer, isn't it? That it's been
Yeah, absolutely.
Isak to Liverpool's been in the chat. So I mean, let's see if it happens, Paul. It's exciting, isn't it?
Kevin, the Newcastle fan.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's raging or not, or sanguine. Let's find out. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Afternoon, guys. I mean, this Isak thing's been going on for most of this year, really.
Yeah.
And I can't see him jumping ship. We'll qualify the Champions League, and Alanga, one of his teammates, has just joined the club. I mean, we've got very deep pockets in Newcastle, and yes, we're constrained by the Premier League wrongly. But I just think Newcastle are probably just going to say, right, we're going to keep Isak, get another striker up front and replace Wilson, and we'll set the Premier League alight. I think that's what's going to happen.
I mean, that's what I was just saying to Alex, that there's an awful lot of reasons to stay at Newcastle from his point of view, but it is the champions. I mean, as Alex said, there's no pressing need for Newcastle to sell him, but it's all a bit unsettling. Do you mean, Alex, we're just listing the players you've gone after, Kevin. Are you a bit disappointed that you haven't kind of landed anybody yet?
Well, I think we've done like a Trojan horse approach. So we've said we want that player, knowing full well that like Chelsea, like Pedro, the button bought him. I think Eddie Howe and the board of directors in Newcastle are very cute at what they're doing. Our chairman is a very educated top man. So and Jamie Rubin's a very successful businessman. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they'll point in one direction, hoping that a team will go and nick the player, and then we'll go from another direction. Which, if you think about the Frankfurt player, we weren't even linked with him a few weeks ago, and now all of a sudden we're putting bids in. So, and they might be doing that to force Liverpool's hand on that player. You never know.
Yeah, I think sometimes players want success now, Kevin, rather than waiting for a project to come to fruition. And I think if you're Alexander Isak and Liverpool are in view, and they've just won the league and that. Yeah. And they've just spent a lot of money on a very good world-class midfielder, Wirtz. That project is happening now, isn't it? He can go there and win things immediately. So often, if you say to him, well, in 2 or 3 years' time, Newcastle are going to be a real power, he might not want to wait that long.
I don't think it'll take that long. I honestly don't. I think we're on the march now. We won a cup this year. We finished in the top of the league. And we will be able to spend a lot of money in the foreseeable future because the Premier League's illegal route for stopping clubs spending what they can afford will be broken in court. That is restrictive trading. So I think we're not going to have to wait 3 years for Newcastle's to get more success. It's going to happen a lot sooner than that.
You've got to love the optimism. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Thanks very much. Kevin there is PSR's gone for a Burton. And I mean, who knows?
PSR is there to stop clubs going out of business. That's what it's for, isn't it?
Well, partly that, and it's also there to kind of limit the spending of certain clubs and make it a level playing field, so you don't just go out and buy who you like, but
keep it interesting.
There's a lot wrong with it. There's some aspects of the concept right with it, but there's an awful lot wrong with it when you have to start selling all your crown jewels and your best young players.
Your young players,
Because Andy often says it. That's not what it was set up for. So you have to go and sell your homegrown talent, which people hate doing because you love watching your own players.
You see McTominay going to Man United to Napoli, and you think, well, what
are Newcastle going to do with the Isak money?
Exactly.
Yeah, see what I mean? It's fitting into what we've been talking about today.
They're going to go and buy Mateta from Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, what are they going to do with the Mateta money?
He's been linked with Liverpool today.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs. Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.